Hey, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to follow through with what we're talking about here. So, in this particular activity that we're doing is I'm going to help you code your logo. I'm sorry, not code your logo, but just pick up. This is the second part of this with it, but the zigzag pattern is what I'm talking about, and I call it zigzag because it's starting from the left, and you can see how this goes left, right with it, and the image goes, and the description goes left, right with it. So I want you to think of these are like a row for me, all right? So this is like a row, and this is the second row, this is the third row with it, and inside of each of this row, you have a certain size of a dimension on here. So think of this entire design right now. If I resize this as in responsive with it, you see how that resizes with it. And I want you to think of each one of these rows are like, let's break this up like 66% for this particular text right here, and this image could be like a 33%. So it's adding these two columns together with it, it becomes 99.9999% with it, right? So and then you flip back to this one would be like 33.3333%, and this will be like 66.666666% with it, and this is the description of your artwork with it, and it repeats itself with it. So I basically have three rows here, right? With it. The reason I'm telling you this is it helps if you picture what columns and rows like on a grid would look like, and that's how your design is going to look like with it as well. All right, so let's get started with this. Here's what I'd like for you to do. I've already logged on my username and password to the virtual desktop. I went to DallasCollege.edu virtual desktop and log into it. The tool that we're going to actually use to code our portfolio page is called the visual code. This one right here, this second row, it's this icon right here, and you can click on that and click on allow. Give it a few seconds with it. You might have to log into your E7 and password one more time. Now, this is what I teach in Web Design 1 with it, so you have to bear with me with some of the lingo as I go through this, and you might need to stop the video, code exactly what I have in the screen, so you get used to getting comfortable with it as well. So for some of you who never code before, this is coding. This is the simplest coding it comes with it. So let's give it a second to load here. I'm going to pause the video so it doesn't take up too much time. So this is what it looks like when you first time load your Visual Code, which is called an IDE, Integrated Development Environment with it. And of course, you can always download this for free, but you can't install this on your high school laptop because they won't allow you to. That's why we're doing this through a laptop, through the screen with it. So once you get to here, just pick a color you can live with to configure. I usually pick dark for my. It just helps your eyes a lot easier with it. But for the purpose of the demo in the video with it, I need to choose light because that's a screencast recording with it. So I'm going to do light as what I'm going to select. So that's what it looks like with it. And you know, so let's start with that with it and maximize it if you could for me. And just to give you some navigation on this is your what's called the file explorer with it. We need to create what's called a little workbench, a workplace that we can actually have our files with it as well. So here's what I'd like for you to do is if you can do file and do open a folder. That's the first thing you need to do, and navigate to your on your OneDrive. Of course, my file structure is going to be different from everybody else with it, right? So I'm going to navigate to my file directory in here in a second here. So let me hold on. So I have because your file structure is going to look different from mine with it. I have a folder called courses. Here's my summer of 2023. Whatever it is that you are creating in your directory with it, it's totally different with it, but have a file management with it at this level with it. IMED1301, this is one of the courses. Yours could be 14, 13, 16, 14, 16, etc. with it. It's up to you with it, but you got to be in a folder is my point with it, right? So I'm going to select, I have a course number is IMED1301-Mayterm. So whatever this is, I want to click on select. And this is what it looks like right now with it. And I have a roster, and if you could just click on, yes, you trust this right now with it, that's fine. Make sure you're in a folder. If you're not satisfied with where you're at, you can always come back in and do open folder to find another place with it. So let me see if I can find another workplace with it where I have everything stored for me, okay? So I just want to make sure. So let me pause the computer, pause the recording for a second. So before I get started on this right here, this is not the right folder I'm in right now with it, but I'd like for you to make sure you log on to your OneDrive with it. So I need to connect to my OneDrive before I do that, because that's how we're going to move our files in and out of here with it as well. All right, hold on. So I'm gonna go back to all resources here, this right here, and then I'm going to find the icon. Let's just open up any desktop right now with it. So let me just grab this desktop right here. Very nice. We still have Visual Code that's open over here with it. So I'm going to pause. This might take a few seconds, okay? So, okay, so I'm at the desktop right now. It took a while for this to load, so that's why I had to pause for a second with it as well. So let this thing load for a second with it. This is my virtual desktop with it. And please use the Creative Arts and Design icon. This is what you're allowed to access to as well. If you could for me in here, if you could, just to make sure that you're connected, click on the Windows Explorer down here and make sure you're connected in the OneDrive Dallas College. And if you click on that, like I said, make sure you're connected. My file structure is totally different. This is the file that I have right now from the OneDrive, and I have all of our modules in here with it. So mine's a little different the way how I have it set up right now for you guys with it. So don't worry about what I have versus what you have. You have your own file structure with it as well. So if you're not, here's what I'd like for you to do. I need to open up Chrome, for example, browser with it. Go to your OneDrive. .com, and just log in with your E7, or in my case, my 3x4 with it. So, but like I said, you have to log in and connect to this thing with it. So give me a second. Okay, so again, I am logged on to my my OneDrive. I click on my files here. The file I'm looking for is for my class with it that I transfer over. And make sure you find your folder wherever that may be with it. So I think this is the one. All right. So this is my file structure right now with it. Again, my file structure is a little different from everybody else with it. Everybody's file structure is going to be different from one another with it. But you need to have a folder. It's called IMED1301 May, or something like this, or summer, or fall, or whatever it is, the term that you're in right now with it. Just make sure you have a folder that you can actually point to as a workbench at this time. Hold on. Okay, so I thought this is the third part for the video with it. I thought it'd be a really good way to show you how to move files in and out of your virtual desktop with it, with the OneDrive. I have a browser on my left-hand side over here. My left-hand side is my local computer on my desktop I'm working in, all right, in my office. The right-hand side is the virtual desktop, all right. Again, left hand is the left screen. That's the computer I'm working on right now. Imagine the left side is your laptop. the right side is the virtual desktop. I'm in two browsers right now, just to let you know. So I just to keep this straight with it. This browser is in the virtual desktop. And I want to show you this is the reason is how do I move the files in and out of this as well. So I have my my files that I have over here with it. This is my file. This is on my local drive, meaning the computer I'm working on right now. As you can see, this has module 1 and module 5-video with it. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and of course a syllabi on here, right? So I want to copy over to move this file over to the virtual desktop, and I can move the files here back as well. So I'm trying to access the OneDrive with it. So I thought I would actually show you this on both of my screens. So I'm just going to copy over the content that I'm going to actually use, including everything with it. So I'm going to mirror. If I put up a mirror in the middle here, I want the file structure on the left-hand side to have a replica of what's on the right-hand side. Both files, I want to have a copy of it, right? Because I already have module 1 already, right? So I'm just going to drag from here to here. I'm going to let go. It's loading right now with it, and let's give it a second. It's only a few, so it's still uploading right now with it. So just to give it a second. So here's that syllabi here that I just moved from my local drive to my desktop over. So let's give it a second here. So this is uploaded. Now I'm going to come over here to my virtual desktop. I hit F5 to refresh my screen. Look, now both of these looks the same. Do you recognize that? You see this file structure and this file structure now is mirror image. They have to be a replica. A replica means what? A copy. All right. So it has even the file structure inside of it. I'm going to go inside module 6 right now to show you this is what I currently have, and module 6 here, it has currently the same thing. So both of these file structure looks the same, exact same file structure. Let me come out to my files right now by just clicking on this right here, and then I click on this right here. It looks the same. If I want to see what's inside module 1, I have graphics.psd, module 1 graphics.psd, and so on with it. File structure, folders, subdirectories have to be the same. So so does that make sense? I just want to clarify that before, when I mean mirror image, meaning it has to be a replica from your local drive to the cloud. Both of these file structure, the folders and the subdirectories, the folders and its file has to be the same, meaning same files with it, right? All right, so let me pause right here for a second.